Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III. I am your host, and today we are going to be covering some of the wealth files that we discussed in yesterday's podcast. We talked about 17 wealth files that you'll find in the book by T. Harv Eker called The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. What an amazing way to start to get your mindset, your thinking, your way of creating success in your life to a whole new level. So today what we're going to do, I'm going to break down the first 5. And I want to just give you a little bit of feedback, a little bit of my thoughts related to these first 5 wealth files, in order to respect your time and keep our sessions here short. We're going to do that, and then I'll break down the other wealth files on episodes over the next couple of days. So let's go ahead and start out. So wealth file number 1 is rich people believe I create my life, and poor people believe life happens to me. Now, I'm going to make a note just in case you didn't listen to the podcast yesterday. When we go through these wealth files, it's not about casting shadow or judgment on poor or rich, and it's certainly not about a money situation. We're talking about the way you think. We're talking about the way that you process and filter information so that you can create a more abundant, more successful life. And the way you think will determine your success in every area of your life, your personal, professional, business, relationships, communication. And so I just want to make that note again so that you don't get caught up in the actual labels, okay? We're trying to dig into the details. So I want you to think real serious about rich people create their life, and poor people believe life happens to me. Do you feel that you create your life, or do you feel that life happens to you? Do you take responsibility for every single aspect of your life and what's happening and what's going on? Or do you tend to play the victim role? We talk about, Harv kind of talks about in the book, various clues that'll help you to understand if you are playing the victim role. Now, this is not whether or not you are a victim. This is whether you're playing the role of a victim. This is whether you're playing the role of someone who believes things just happen to them versus they create their life. So there's some clues for this. Number 1, do you blame? I know people in my life, and I've done it myself as well in times, that blame the economy, that blame the business, that blame COVID, that blame relationships, that blame people, that blame all kinds of things outside themselves. And let's be honest, you can't control a lot of stuff outside of you. So it doesn't help to blame. Blame is just something that takes the pressure off you, and it disempowers you. And so do you play the blame game? Number 2, do you justify or rationalize situations? Money's really not that important, or, of course that person can do it, but, they have all kinds of extra things going their way. Do you rationalize things in your life? The reason you don't have certain things, the reason you've had it rough? Do you try to justify things so that you can accept your circumstances? That's something that doesn't empower you to be able to create new circumstances. And the third clue as to whether you're playing this role of the victim is, do you complain? Are you complaining about things that happen? Are you complaining about the situation going on? Are you complaining about the weather, the economy, your income, things like this? Because when you complain, it puts you in a state of scarcity. It takes you away from the true empowering principles that give you success, like gratitude. Instead, what you need to do is practice gratitude in everything you have. You're not going to receive more in your life if you're not grateful for what you do have. And I can promise you, I've gone through this scenario with myself as well. I can promise you that there are many, many, many people in the world that are far worse off than you. There are many, many people in the world that don't have the things that you have. And so you need to realize and understand that you can make money, you can have success, or you can have excuses. You can't have both. And that's why I love this first wealth file of I create my life. And that's one of the reasons why we've adopted this as one of our prosperity pillars. The number 1, I create my life rather than life happens to me. So wealth file number 2 is rich people play the money game to win, and poor people play the money game to not lose. The key question that you have to ask yourself in life, are you playing offense or are you playing defense? We talk about this at our asset protection summits because, sometimes we get so caught up in playing offense and making money and creating success and doing this and this and this, that we don't think about whether or not we're truly playing offense or whether we're playing defense. In business, are you playing not to lose? Are you trying to make sure that you're saving money or making money? Are you trying to fill holes or create opportunity? Are you trying to avoid situations that could cause you the fear of loss? Or are you venturing out to create new relationships and expand your horizons? What you need to do, and here's the bottom line, Harv put it really well. He said, if your goal is to be comfortable, chances are you'll never get rich. But if your goal is to be rich, chances are you'll end up mighty comfortable. And I think what it goes back to is the same process that you have when you set goals. If you shoot for the stars, you may hit the moon. But if you're only shooting for the moon, you may not even hit it. And so the process you have to understand here is in your mind, when you look at situations, are you trying to hedge your bets? Are you trying to protect yourself? Or are you playing to win? Do you set your goals to reach out and set those goals and achieve them? Or are you trying to just hedge your bets? So wealth file number 2, rich people play the money game to win, not just to not lose. Wealth file number 3 was rich people are committed to being rich and poor people want to be rich. I think we all have fallen into this trap over time because the truth is most people have a desire to be rich, but they don't have a commitment to being rich. They have a desire to create their best life. They have a desire to live happy and fulfilled lives, but they're not committed to living happy and fulfilled lives. And, it relates back to a lot of limiting beliefs you may have because most people have a negative relationship with money. You may fear the responsibility that it's going to put on you. You may fear that you may have a fear of losing money, so you don't want to gain it because you might lose it. Some people do this, the same thing with relationships. You're so afraid of, being rejected that you're not willing to get out there and be committed to creating and finding a relationship. But, not willing to do what it takes is also an indicator that you're just wanting to be rich and not committed to being rich. If you're not willing to act in spite of your mood, like we talk about with prosperity pillar number 3, if you're not willing to, go outside your comfort zone, do things when you're not feeling like doing it, then you're not really committed. Because there's lots of levels of your desire and commitment. One is I want to be rich. One is I choose to be rich, and you're making that decision. And the other is I commit. There's subtle differences, but they're big differences. Do you want to have a better life, or do you choose and decide to have a better life, or are you committed to your best life? If you're not totally committed to being successful, then you won't be. And here's the challenge. The challenge is another thing that Harv mentions in the book is that the number one reason most people don't get what they want is they don't know what they want. And if you don't know what you want, you don't have a vision for your best life, a vision for what you want to be successful with, then you're not committed. You're just interested in having success. And that's a really, really key point I want to draw out. Okay, wealth file number 4. Rich people think big and poor people think small. Now, think about this for a minute. Do you think big in everything that you want, or do you think small? And these are extremes. Remember, I'm using extremes for the illustration purposes of this. But limiting beliefs tend to hold you back. If you're not self-confident and you have low self-esteem and you don't set goals and you don't have a proper vision, well, then you're not going to be thinking big. Remember that money is a result. So you have to focus on what causes the result. You have to create a solid vision. You have to have daily rituals. You have to be committed to building your own belief and activities that will increase your confidence and success and belief on an ongoing basis. This is what will help you think bigger. You've got to be able to do the things that will create the result of success or money. And most importantly, I would highly encourage you to dream build. Because if it doesn't seem real to you, you're not going to have the vision. Your vision won't be clear. You won't be able to think big. Think big, dream big. Most of us have been hurt so many different times and not hit our goals so many different times that we've started to dream small. And dreaming small is never going to get you where you want to be. Okay, and then the final wealth file number 5. Rich people focus on opportunities and poor people focus on obstacles. I talked about this. Remember when I said that you can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. You can focus on what it's going to take to get you there, or you can focus on what's holding you back. One's going to get you there and one's not. But it's so important that you understand that the way you approach situations is really going to be your key to life, your filter, the way you see things. Do you want yourself to have less obstacles in your life, or do you want to grow bigger than your obstacles? Do you see opportunities when something happens to you, or do you see problems and obstacles? Do you think through a filter of scarcity, or do you think through abundance? When something happens to you, do you say, oh my gosh, here it goes again, this happens to me all the time? Or do you say, maybe I need to learn a lesson here. Maybe there's something I need to do. Maybe I need to be stronger so that these things that hit me, they don't even bother me. They bounce right off me. See, abundant thinkers see opportunities. They find ways that this situation or problem is going to help them learn. It's going to help them grow. It's going to help them be stronger so that next time they don't even have any problem doing it. They're going to find ways to improve their business, their relationship, their communication. They see obstacles in their relationships or obstacles in their business as ways they can become even better and bigger and stronger. But rich people focus on solutions, not problems. I've talked about that many, many times. And so when you focus on opportunities, you're focusing on solution. You're going to find more solutions. You're going to create more success. So those are the 5 I wanted to cover with you today. I hope these wealth files have inspired you to do a couple of things. Number 1, I hope they help you to change the way you look at things. Wayne Dyer said it best when he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And second, in addition to changing the way you look at things, I hope you'll be more conscious of your thoughts and mindset, because this is really the key. You can't create change unless you're aware of how you're viewing things. You can't create your best life when your thoughts are not taking you in the right direction, because your thoughts are going to create those feelings and actions and results that are not lining up with your goals and vision. I hope you believe this. I hope you understand this, and I hope you'll really study this and start to change the way you look at things and the way your mindset is, because the mindset of a successful person is one that's different than an unsuccessful person. This is going to be your true potential. So thanks for listening today. Click that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the podcast so you can get these and never miss an episode, and share it with a friend. Once again, my name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a phenomenal day. Talk with you soon.